Oh, yo, guys and girls, hello and welcome. This is Victory's Verdict, Leyton Orient against Newport County. Mark Victory's report from Brisbane Road. Pre-match thoughts. County need to put in a better performance and offer less charity at the back to stand any chance today. Conditions, quite warm, sunny spells, keen wind and pitch in excellent condition. Summing up our performance in one statement. Unspectacular but effective, defending crosses well and picking holes going forward. Turning point. None to note, but Orient did miss a couple of early chances. County made a couple of changes with Jack Compton out with a calf injury. Jennison Myrie Williams returned to the side. Jordan Green came in right midfield replacing right back Jazzy Barn and Bob, who was on the bench. County reverted to 4-4-2 as a result, with Jamie Turley named right back. Orient went on the offensive in early stages, looking to strike early and crafted a couple of decent moves on the right side, testing County left back Dan Butler. On 5 minutes, Orient did well to manoeuvre some space for a cross on the right byline after some good work by right back Cloacy, but Jones was alive to make an important clearance inside the 6-yard box. County looked to catch Orient on the break, using the wind against them with some neat passes forward. On 8 minutes, County were close when left back Ericott was casual with the ball at his feet and Rigg snatched position on the right side of the area. From a acute position, Rigg curled a decent effort just wide of the left post. County kept a good tempo ticking over with some neat moves in the final third involving Jackson and Rigg, who showed a good understanding. On 10 minutes, some good work by Myrie Williams opened up space on the left side of the area and a loose clearance sat up invitingly for Rigg, who hit a stinging volley just over the bar from 16 yards. County were buoyed by their approach, with Myrie Williams asking plenty of questions on the left flank. On 15 minutes, Williams got into an advanced position near the left byline and his low cross was intercepted well by Parks. Orient made efforts to push on, with Cox probing away down the left flank, but left themselves open defending, with Green carrying the ball strongly at his feet. On 20 minutes, Green did well to anticipate after a Randall corner from the left side was only half cleared. He adjusted well before blasting an effort wide and high of the right post from 18 yards. Orient were keen to use their right side at every opportunity, with some diagonal passes to test County and quick crosses into the area. County settled into their game and looked for the sucker punch by attacking holes in behind, with right back Cloacy forced to track back. County had a couple of decent situations across the face of the area, with Jackson and Rigg offering plenty of cohesion, but Orient were able to squash their threat. County were rewarded with a couple of corners from their approach play down the left flank. On 34 minutes it paid dividends when a Randall corner was whipped in and flicked on by Jackson inside the 6-yard box before Turley volleyed home from a very acute angle. County dealt well with response from Orient, who continued to persist with proving cross from the right side. On 35 minutes, Weir struck an ambitious effort from distance which went well over the bar. Then on 37 minutes, Cox did well with a tricky run down the left side before cutting inside away from Green, but his effort failed to test the County keeper Joe Day. County were forced to sit deeper as half-time approached, and Labadie got himself in the book for a clumsy challenge on Weir. County managed the pressure well and continued to pick holes on the break, with some neater moves on the right side, with Turley and Green forging a better understanding, but County were unable to test the keeper Cizak. Orient continued with their attack of working crosses from the wings, which kept County keeper Day busy. On 48 minutes, Orient had a glimmer of a chance when Palmer hit a low shot, turning away from a challenge by Jones, but his shot from 10 yards failed to test Day. Orient were keen to use the tall frame of Palmer with some direct balls into the area, but County were quick to stifle and clear. The game became a little disjointed midway through the half, with both sides struggling in possession. On 60 minutes, Orient made their first change, with McCallum replaced up front by Bowley. County were happy to absorb pressure and play on the counter, and they had a decent chance to further their lead on 62 minutes. Randall supplied a neat ball down the middle for Jackson to contest with Parks, and he won the race, but somewhat rushed his effort, blasting high and wide from 25 yards. Katie made a change soon after, with Green replacing Ban and Bob, and Tozer on for Myrie Williams. Katie adjusted to 4-5-1 setup, with Ban and Bob on the right side of midfield and Jackson the Lone Ranger up front. The game remained competitive and a little frantic in midfield, and there was a lot of room for pass. On 70 minutes, Randall got caught out overplaying in central midfield, and he caught Kelly with a late challenge, which gave the referee little option not to book. The game became increasingly scrappy, with both sides struggling to put 5 passes together. Orient made a couple of changes on 72 minutes with Cornick replacing Weir and Atanga on for Cox. On 75 minutes, County were forced to defend deep inside the area, and Browery struck an opportunist effort well over the bar. County sat deep in the final stages of the game, looking to use Jackson on the break, but they were struggling to gain any cohesion in their moves. Orient had a series of corners from their pressure and were close on 80 minutes when a corner from the left went deep towards Parkin. He directed his header well, forcing Day into a good parry, and Palmer headed the loose ball over the bar. Orient persisted with a tact of launching crosses into the box and had a great chance to equalise on 85 minutes when Semedo delivered a decent searching cross from the left channel, which went to the back post, and Palmer made a late run but could only glance wide of the right post from 10 yards. County made a change soon after, with Randall being replaced by Owen Evans. The final minutes were a little frantic, with County and Orient pushing several defenders forward, and Day forced into a couple of collections from crosses which he held well. There was a glimmer of a chance for County on 88 minutes when Jackson was one-on-one with the last defender, Cloesy, but he checked back and his shot from 25 yards went well over the bar. County nearly gifted a goal on 90 minutes when Labadie got caught in possession deep in his own half, and a quick through ball by Cornick found Weir, who poked a shot wide of the right post from the edge of the area. County had to deal with 5 minutes of injury time, but stood up to the task well, despite several hopeful crosses into the area, and were given a warm response from their travelling support. Player ratings. Day 8. Made several smart claims for the parry, punched well and kicked the safety. Made 2 important instinctive saves late on to make it a happy birthday. Butler 7. Put under pressure in the early stages and had to deal with opposite full-back, but took well to the challenge. Put some decent crosses in when he did get forward. Bennett 8. Kept concentration well and always well positioned to clear effectively. Made several important challenges to break up play and momentum. Turley 7. Did a reasonable standing job at right back, was robust and kept Cox quiet in the first half. Had to face pressure in the second, but distributed well. Jones 8. Won a fair quota of headers and worked well in tandem to deal with the aerial threat of Palmer. Made several important interventions and cleared well. Randall 7. Saw a lot of the ball and generally did well to instigate moves, offering composure with passing. Stupid book in second half when got caught overplaying. Myrie Williams 6. Had a very bright start of the game with some direct running down the left flank, exposing the fullback. Offered less threat second half and faded. Labadie 6. Looked sharp at a day. Busy game particularly in the first half. Competed well to win tackles and drive forward. Had to be careful after cheap booking. Green 6. Showed his capability with the ball at the feet, but restricted on chances. Worked hard to protect Turley and defend when he had to before being replaced. Rigg 7. Unlucky not to score with a couple of early efforts, and looked sharp with Jackson first half, giving the Orient defence little respite. Forced to drop back later on. Jackson 7. Caused several problems first half and won a fair quota in the air, doing well to link. Got a bit overexcited on a couple of chances, blasting off target. SWOT analysis of the opponents. Strengths. They were quick to turn defence into attack and able to and willing with crosses from the flanks. Weaknesses. Became predictable with crosses into the area and showed little patience to pass first half, overplaying the ball. Defenders were often slow to move to the ball. Opportunities. They made some decent efforts to thread passes later in the match and more throughout their approach play, but never really changed their approach. Threats. Palmer was strong in the air. Cox was prepared to carry the ball and shoot from distance. Semedo provided some of the better crosses. Officials. Michael Salisbury 6. Frustrating on times, giving free kicks for collisions. Missed some fouls and booked in first half before he's got his cards out after the break. Man of the match, Joe Day. Wasn't overworked but was important. He was safe with his handling and made some good decisions. Made 2 important saves late part of the match. If you were Warren Feeney, what would you do? County needed a result today, and even though this was not a spectacular performance, it was a very much determined team effort, which they deserved. County just stuck to their task and may well have been further ahead in the first half, using the win well to turn Orient, with Jackson and Rigg combining well to create chances which were complemented by support from midfield. County got the first goal, and this gave them a good flat platform to build on. It is evident that County are going to be a threat from set pieces this year, with Randa and Butler providing plenty of quality crosses, and there were plenty of aerial threat inside the box. After missing 3 chances against MK Dons, Turley got his reward today. County can improve on their sharpness in midfield and not get caught overplaying, and need to work on their transition counter-attacking play to bring in their fullbacks. They allowed Jackson to be too isolated up front second half and sat very deep on times, but with better cohesion may have killed the game off earlier. Luton Town are up next Tuesday and look a useful outfit going forward, but have a completely new defence. Bedding in that, County can play on from their set pieces. Thank you very much, guys and girls. That's Mark Vickery's report on Vickery's verdict.